What's up? Merry Christmas.
Happy day after Christmas.
I know, right? Such a cool day. It was super fun. Hey, Kenneth, what's up?
Hey.
Just hanging out.
It was a perfect Christmas day.
Yeah.
It really, really was. Just hanging out. Baby was all over the place with his new things.
Hey, when did we stop buying him like crazy amounts of? Hey, Corey, what's up, dude? When did we stop buying him crazy amounts of Christmas presents? Was it last year?
Probably a couple years ago. I would say a couple years ago.
Vindicate. Yo, what's up? Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
And thank you for the logo.
Yeah.
Super appreciate it. Yep.
She was very surprised, by the way. She had no idea. She was like, hey, you got something from Vindicate. I was like, oh, no, I didn't. I was like, this is for you.
What'd you order?
Because we had just gotten, because we ordered other stuff. We ordered our Sevon Christmas t-shirts, and she got a hat, and I got, oh shit, what else did I got something else too. Oh, a hoodie.
Your Vindicate
My
hoodie.
Vindicate hoodie.
Yeah.
So that came first, and then we got the other package, and she was like, this is yours. It says your name on it. And I threw it right back at her, and I was like, technically it's yours. And so she opened it, and she was like, oh shit, he made these for me. And I told her the story about how,
that's cool.
You know, we collabed. And so I appreciate you very much for helping me put these together as a little present for her for Christmas. So they're super comfortable.
Everybody go to vindicate.com.
Yeah.
Super. He does a lot of really fun stuff for everybody. So that's cool.
But yeah, I would say a couple years ago, when he was a baby, I used to go crazy.
Yeah, you did.
I used to buy him so much shit. And the thing is, for us, we don't have he doesn't have a playroom. Our home is very small. And so it just, as you guys know, with kids, like it's the excitement of when they first get them, but then they just kind of collect dust everywhere. And we would first have a lot of shit in the living room and a lot of shit in his bedroom. And then I was like, well, fuck this. Everything needs to go in his bedroom. If he brings toys out to play with them, that's one thing. But like, I'm not piling all of his shit in one corner of the living room because we just don't have the space for it. So then when we started doing that, then obviously between his bed and his room, he doesn't actually have that much extra space. So once we realized that, then his room started to get so crowded. And then I started to realize that he would just have things. He has his set stuff that he plays with, but then he would just have things. And I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. So this year, the big thing this year that I focused on was getting him sensory stuff. So he has like a yoga bouncy ball that he can bounce on if he needs to. I did get him these cool blocks that he can like build a small couch with and build a fort with, and
which
do that
is really
kind of
fun
stuff
for him with the new puppy.
Yeah,
like they're enjoying that immensely. I think that was the best gift. I think you win that. Hey, do guys even buy Christmas presents? Because I literally found out what the baby got when he opened the presents. Like you did all of the Christmas shopping and whatnot. So it's just fun. I'm curious if dudes even do that. I'm very lucky. You do it all. And then I just get to, watch him have fun and have a good time. So
yeah.
Thank you for that, babe.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I kind of run a couple ideas past you, and you run a couple ideas past me, and it's kind of like, hey, yeah, like kind of like I give suggestion and ideas or whatever. It's kind of like, hey, has he said anything to you about something that he wants?
Yeah.
And if, and then I also help, we also have him do a Christmas list, a Santa list. And then from there, I get ideas of what he wants. But like every other kid, you have one Christmas list. And then 2 days before Christmas, there's a whole nother Christmas list. And it's like, sorry, bud.
Do you remember the catalog that you used to like circle what you wanted and your parents would go get that? That was the most amazing thing that ever happened. That doesn't happen anymore. It's just you have to scroll through Instagram or whatever to find something to buy for somebody. But
yeah, because they don't
there used to be that really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They don't have that.
Don't laugh. I circled everything My Little Pony.
I used to circle everything.
And He-Man.
Yeah.
I loved He-Man. But yeah, it was a good time. Lots of it was just PJs, movies, football. He was excited because he has Corey Leonard. I buy stuff for my wife and I give suggestions, input for the kids. I don't even think we do that anymore. Do we even buy stuff for each other anymore?
We haven't done that in a very long time.
It's been a minute since we bought stuff for each other, right?
Yeah. So obviously when we first started dating and everything, we would get presents for each other. And then we decided, I can't remember the last time that, I mean, technically like Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I can't remember the last time that we actually went out, bought presents for each other, wrapped them separately, and then we opened them on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
We just, you know, for us, it's seeing our kid open presents and us spending time together. And
well, we're adults. We can buy shit when we feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, Corey, exactly. Yep. To be fair, we buy each other stuff and mark it for Christmas at some point during the year. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. But yeah, we made that decision a long time ago to not buy each other things. I honestly think the celebration, I think that you buy me
Mother's Day.
a present is Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Because my birthday, we always just go to dinner because that's always what I want. And it's, you know, it's very much for her, like, what do you want? Like, get what you want kind of thing.
We're adults. We get everything we want during the year. If we want something during the year, we get it. It's not like we need it, you know.
But I'm also very simple.
Valentine's Day and Mother's Day.
Yeah. But yes, Valentine's Day, you and the baby always pick me out flowers. For both Mother's Day and Valentine's
Day. Yeah.
Those are like my two gifts that I get.
Yeah. Sometimes we agree Christmas for the kids.
Yes.
Yep. Then Valentine's Day in February is for the adults. Yeah. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I'm very simple. Like I don't wear jewelry. I don't have like I don't.
Yeah, our wedding rings are actually like safe somewhere.
Yeah.
So that they don't get messed up.
We wear those. We wear our wedding bands. And I wear my engagement ring. Like I wear my set on our wedding anniversary. When we go to dinner for our wedding anniversary, that's when we wear them. But I'm a simple girl. Like I don't need.
I know, guys. She's very tough to buy for. You can't just go get her. She's not the girl that you can just go get jewelry for. That's not her thing. I tried that when we started dating, and
I wore it.
She wore it, but she hated it.
I hated it, but I wore it. I wore it.
Corey Leonard, or like this year, she informed me that she's going to compete at, she are going to compete at Legends. Or you going to compete at Legends was your Christmas present. And she went to Banff with one of her friends earlier this year.
There you go.
Okay. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what married people do, especially if you've been married for a long time.
I mean, so then technically Crash was our early Christmas present.
Fair.
I mean, we went to Crash. We spent a lot of money at Crash. We spent a lot of time at Crash. It was super fun. And
yep. I like it.
But no, like I am simple to buy for though, because I like gym clothes and get me any sort of swag. Like I'm chill, a pair of shoes, like workout shoes, comfy. Like I'm so simple when it comes to that kind of shit. Like again, 100% of the time, I just want to go out and have a glass of wine with you at dinner and just go be it like together, be married and not be a mom for 5 seconds. Like I just want to go spend time with you. So I'm actually very, very simple, I would say.
Oh, Corey, married 6 years on New Year's Eve. Oh, congratulations, dude.
Congrats.
What are we? We're 13 years together, 12 years married.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Oh, hey, that's funny. Like totally switching gears and getting off the whole Christmas bandwagon. But talked to a friend of mine. He had been with his girlfriend for a very, very long time, broke up, and now she's engaged, and I think it's less than a year later.
It is.
What is the acceptable time for that? Like, we were trying to get through that. Is that an acceptable time? Like, would you be pissed off if you 30 years.
Congrats, Papa
Get it,
Birch.
Papa Birch.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Would you be because I feel like they were together for a good 2 years or so. You know what I mean? So, and then one of them is actually engaged now, probably 8 months after they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
What's the acceptable amount of time for that?
I don't think we can talk much about that, honey, because technically
Yeah.
ours wasn't an acceptable amount of time.
Right, but that's what I'm talking about. That's why we should talk about it, because it wasn't.
But again, what's your definition of acceptable?
That's what I'm saying.
Because
if
you're with somebody, like, I mean, I can take my own ex relationship as an example. I was ready to settle down. I was ready to commit. I was ready to do all the things, and she didn't want to.
Oh, here we go with the phone line again.
Like, she didn't want to. She didn't want to settle down. She wanted to still do what she wanted to do. So am I supposed to wait? Or am I supposed to was I supposed to push you away because you wanted to be with me? So I needed to tell you that we needed to wait a year or 2 years before we could get engaged?
I don't know. That's the thing. How fast do people get engaged? Like, I feel like if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But to spend 2 years together, I don't know.
It's also very hard when you don't have somebody that is committed, that wants to be committed. I mean, you can talk about being committed and, but if you're not actually committed, then, and you have somebody that is like, hey, I don't want to play games.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do this. Then.
No, it's just crazy for me because if I was the person that somebody broke up with me and then was engaged within, would I care if they were engaged within like 6 months, say?
Mm-hmm.
Would I care? Probably. I'd be annoyed, especially if I didn't have anybody and I wasn't like out living my best life.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
that's personal accountability. That's personal
choices
and understanding that, whether like, that you want to be with that person or you just want to be in a relationship, like, I don't know. That
was crazy. It was just a crazy conversation, like in the deli,
mm-hmm.
hanging out, talking.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, dude, I don't know how I would feel, but I haven't been on that. I haven't been on the end of the person that got broken up with, and then my ex was engaged 5 minutes later. So
yeah,
I was just like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, my ex was like, I'm jealous that you want to marry her. And I was like, well, I technically wanted to marry you, but you didn't want to marry me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can only want someone to change as much as they're willing to change. But if they don't want to, they don't want to.
Yeah.
Because I was ready to settle down the best way I knew how. But
Kenneth, I told my wife if we could survive deployment as boyfriend and girlfriend, we should get married. If you can survive that, that's a stress level that most marriages or boyfriend and girlfriend can't survive. So holla.
Absolutely. He's a strong woman.
But yeah, okay. So what did we see? We saw the Daniel Penny case happened. We talked about that, but then a couple of things have happened since the holidays, or at least since Christmas. Mm-hmm. Definitely saw that the woman on the train who got set on fire.
Oh my gosh.
Still don't know all the circumstances around that. But then yesterday, on the subway, the New York City subway at Grand Central Station, I believe, a dude got his, like, a guy slit his wrists and then however long later punched a woman in the back of the head and cut her throat. She didn't die. It wasn't like life-threatening wound or whatever, but it was just 2 attacks that happened at once, right? And the main thing that I heard, the main thing that were in the papers was why is nobody helping us? Like the woman who was set on fire, nobody helped her. People were filming, I guess, but nobody helped her. The woman that got punched in the back of the head yesterday and her throat cut or whatever, she was like, "Hey, why aren't people helping me? Nobody helped me. I ran." She ran like to where police were supposed to be and they weren't there. Um, and there was nobody to help her. And what is happening is that it's the Daniel Penny effect, right? Like he helped, then he got in trouble, then he got put in jail, then he got bail, then he had to go through a trial, now he's being sued, like all kinds of things happen. So who wants to help at that point? You know what I mean? How does that foster like, hey, I'm gonna help? Like you don't mind, oh, check this out. Just this is so do you want somebody on a train that's gonna help you when stuff like this happens? Or do you not? Do you just, you know?
I just want to sit, man. Okay. Thank you. Hey, great.
Like, is that worth somebody helping you? You know what I mean? Like, do you like that's weird, right? Or is that something that is just supposed to be okay? And yeah, he gave the dude his drink,
Right.
probably just to get the dude.
I would have.
Right.
I would have.
But what happens if some guy steps in and helps and then gets in trouble? Would you say that helping right there would have been necessary or no? Like you have to judge these things now because if you do step in and help, you could get in trouble. So was that help worthy or not help worthy?
Yeah.
Obviously, getting set on fire, I feel like is help worthy, but New York has shown you that if you do something like that, you're going to get put in jail, sent to trial, indicted, whatever. So what happens now? You know what I mean? It's
so sad.
And it's happening it's been happening all the time. It's not even like it just started. It's been happening all the time. But I remember a point like in the early 2000s, like till 2000, well, yeah. They would always say if you see a domestic dispute, don't step in because 99 times out of 100 you're going to get in trouble and the dude that was committing the domestic dispute is not going to get in trouble. That was a thing. That was a real thing that happened. And so people just stopped helping.
Yeah.
Because it was like, no, he's my boyfriend. I love him. Or no, he's my.
Yeah, that's usually what happens in those situations is, you know, police are called, families called, someone steps in to help, and then they end up back together anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like in the moment, help me, help me, help me. But in the long term.
So the advice was don't help. That's what the advice became. The advice became don't help. And now in situations where it is serious, where people are getting either killed or hurt or whatever, the advice is don't help. Because if you help, you're probably going to get in trouble more than the person that was the agitator did in the first place, like would get in trouble anyway. You know what I mean? Like what happened if, what was his name was Neely? If nothing had happened and Penny hadn't stepped in and he had just been doing whatever and someone got hurt or whatever, would Neely have gotten the same treatment Penny got if someone got hurt because of Neely? Like that's a real question because I don't know. I don't know BLM was out there screaming about how Penny's a murderer and whatever. But if Neely had done something and he was charged with a crime, they would have been out there screaming that he didn't do anything, that Neely was innocent, that he didn't do anything, that he was just a dude with a mental health issues who was on drugs, who was on the street, and he didn't know what he was doing, and so sorry, and blah blah blah, and what, like.
But that's the bigger,
You know,
I think that's the bigger conversation is, one, where is the mental health support? How does somebody that has mental illness like that continue to find themselves back out on the street? Where is that support? How do you, I mean, I know that you can't force somebody to stay. Like, there's regulations, there's rules, there's, you know, whatever, there's guidelines.
Hey, what would have happened if it was a white guy and a white guy? What would have happened if it was Daniel Penny and and Jordan Neely was a white guy? It would just be, hey, he protected the train, right? That's how I view it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's just, again, it's so aggravating. You want me to see race, you don't want me to see race. You want me to see race when it's convenient for you. And it's Corey, nothing would have freaking happened. And that, because it shouldn't have, because someone was an agitator on a train and someone tried to help. And yes, it was a freaking accident. Like, it sucked. And it's terrible that there's loss of life. I'm never, even take the CEO that got the United Health guy that got shot by Luigi, right? There are groups of people out there right now with that are running around going, he's the greatest.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's becoming a pop, like, sensation right now, popular culture sensation right now. And someone lost life. I get it. He might not have been the best guy. He might have been a shithead. He might have been a terrible CEO of United Health.
Listen, I get it. Healthcare is awful.
Yeah. We all know that.
Healthcare is awful. People fight for healthcare all the time. They can't pay their premiums. They can't pay their copays. They can't pay their bills, their medical bills that come after. You know, the insurance. It's amazing because insurance is there to help support, but insurance companies find every little loophole to say that they're not going to pay for this because it doesn't fall within the guidelines of what they deem worthy of paying for.
For sure.
So I get that. Yep. I get the frustration. I understand that the medical system is broken. The insurance company system is broken. You know what I mean? Like, so why aren't we focused more on that instead of going after one singular person? It's not a singular person's fault. You're trying to say that man right there had all the power to do everything
was his fault.
And he's the one that said no to you?
Yeah. And to go out there and to say that it's okay and that someone just committed cold-blooded, meditated murder. Come on, dude. Like, I don't care how much you... that's not the answer. And that's not it. And to cheer that and to say, like, hey, good riddance, whatever, even when the whole...
I mean, people are praising.
Yeah.
Like
really praising him. His background was at... They put him up on the background of a concert with a, like, highly popular DJ. And he was on the background while homie was, like, playing his song and whatever. And it was just like, what is happening? You can't just go murder somebody because you're upset. You can't just go murder somebody because you're angry and, you know, come on. There's
a lot of things that people just get away with now that they wouldn't before. Going out and just killing someone just because, like, would never be okay. Going and getting in someone's personal space like that video you just showed and taking someone, like, getting in their space, trying to take their drink or whatever. Like, people don't do that. Like, it's not a thing, but it is starting to be.
And it just seems to be more and more okay. It's more and more okay to put death threats in people's inboxes and whatnot, and that's fine. Because you're mad, because you're upset, because you had a difficult day.
Because that one person made you so mad that you felt the need to.
Yeah. But you had a tough day because of one person. And so now it's okay for you to just wish death or go out and shoot them.
And it's that person who you've never met in your entire life. But you feel the need to go and just, I don't know.
It was, it reminds me of, there was a cool thing. Oh, no, sorry. Let me rephrase. Not a cool thing, but I don't know if you've seen the McMahon documentary. I'm a huge WWE fan, right? And so one of my favorites, I've said this multiple times, is Bret Hart, and his brother Owen Hart fell from the rafters during a WWE event. It's in the documentary. He was playing a character called the Blue Blazer, and he was supposed to rappel from the ceiling,
which he's done multiple times before.
Yeah, right. He had done multiple times before, and it was like a big event. It was like WrestleMania or SummerSlam or something, whatever. And he was supposed to rappel from the ceiling with the lights off, and then the lights are supposed to come on. He's whatever. And so he is going to do it. He's in the rafters. He's attached to the harness, and he falls and dies.
Mm-hmm. The ring.
In the ring. Mm-hmm. The audience doesn't see it.
Because it's pitch black.
What they see when the lights come on is the fact that Owen's in the ring and the EMTs are doing life-saving procedures on him, right? And everybody's like, "Oh my God!" Nobody knows. I mean, he died on impact, but nobody knows that. They put him on a stretcher. The EMTs take him out. He goes past all the wrestlers that are now supposed to have to wrestle. Right? There's blood in the ring, all kinds of stuff. Fans don't know it. Vince McMahon's like, "Hey, the show's got to go on." And so all those wrestlers have to go out in that ring, and they wrestle in that ring, and Owen Hart's blood is literally stained on the ring. You can see it in the documentary. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's insane. And they do the whole show. I forget whether it was pay-per-view or not. I think it was pay-per-view show, so I'm sure it was probably live or it was, staggered or whatever. And they go through the whole thing. You can see it on their faces in the documentary and during the close-ups that they know what's happening. All the wrestlers understand it, and it's just they talk about it, whatever. At the end, it is proven that the harness that Owen Hart was in was not made properly. Mm-hmm. So it was not WWE's fault. It was like a tragic accident. The people that made the harness, it was their fault.
Manufacturers.
Yeah, the manufacturers, it was their fault. So they were sued. And, Bret Hart, who is the older brother of Owen Hart, comes out and he's like, "Hey, I was pissed at fucking Vince. I was pissed." And then he says this, and it really caught me. I was like, "Oh, wow." Like, he's like, once it came out that it was an accident, I was okay. I forgave Vince. Like, it was horrible. Mm-hmm. It was awful. It was a terrible tragedy. Mm-hmm. It was an accident, and I forgave him. And that was like the moment I forgave him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh shit." Like the stoicism, and he was mad. Like, he wanted to sue Vince. He wanted to sue the WWE. He was pissed. He was a brother. He was mm-hmm. mad. Mm-hmm. And he was like, the investigation into Vince and into the WWE went on for a very long time. And it was found that it wasn't WWE. It wasn't Vince. And he's like, and I forgave them. Mm-hmm. And he was like, as pissed as I was at them, I didn't, and you can see it. He says it. I didn't want to tear the company down. I didn't want to tear wrestling down. And it was, dude, I like, just with everything that's happened this year, like I had to stop and sit there and I was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Bret Hart had a lot of reason to be pissed at Vince for many different things.
Yeah, both professionally and personal.
But he said, he's like, yeah, I was pissed at him professionally. I'm not pissed at him personally. Like, it wasn't
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just found that to be, I hadn't seen anything, you know, obviously this year at the CrossFit Games was the first time I had seen anything like that. And then when the documentary came out, I was like, oh, there's a precedent set here. Almost a little bit. And someone can unfuck me if I'm wrong. Like, if I'm wrong, but I didn't think there was a precedent to what happened this year, but there is. And so I don't know. It just that hit me hard, and I kind of wanted to. I don't know if that would help anybody if they watched it or whatever, but it's pretty crazy, dude. And I can't imagine how Bret Hart felt, and I can't imagine how those wrestlers felt when they were in the ring having to wrestle 5 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
I couldn't do it.
It wasn't even like they had a day off.
Nope.
They wrestled 5 minutes fucking later when the lights came off and the stretcher went out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can see Undertaker like cry. Undertaker, The Undertaker, The Rock, like, it was all those dudes, the nostalgia people.
I wouldn't have been able to do it.
I
would have lost my job that day.
I don't even know. I can't say.
I would have lost my job that day just because I know the type of person that I am. I've done a lot of work.
Every time you go in,
but I know
every time you go in the ring, you have to see Owen Hart's blood in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know. Mm-hmm. And I thought, like, Bret Hart wasn't there. I think he was flying in.
He was flying somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was either flying in or he was flying.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
No.
But he was like, I thought something was wrong. I could feel something was wrong. Mm-hmm. But those people that were his friends and his confidants and whatever that had to wrestle after that and had to go home after that and hug their family after, like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And there are people in that documentary that was like, hey, I thought it was fucking dumb for that event to go on. They have those people in the documentary. They're in there talking. It's not like there's not. The discussion has happened before. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we had the discuss. Everybody had the discussion this year. Everybody had the discussion then too. Like, there's a.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was crazy to watch because in my head I was just like, wow.
Well, I think it's always easier to say how you would respond in the position that you're in. So, for instance, a fan that goes and spends money to go to, we'll just use this WWE event. So a fan goes, pays money to go there, but maybe it's a wealthy fan. Maybe it's a fan that's not struggling for money. So they go, they would understand it'd be, no loss on them because they can still pay their bills. They're not worried about money. You also have fans that have saved up and probably taken money from other things so that they can go. And so that person probably would have different feelings on if someone canceled that event. Let's just say it's an expensive event, whatever. Maybe they got floor seats. They worked their ass off. They got floor seats, front row. They've made it. And then something tragic happens and they are asked to leave. Now, I know it's easy for people to say, well, people should look at life before money. Yeah, I get that. I agree with you. I think a person's life is more important than financials. However, you don't know what the other people are struggling with said financials. So for them, losing that kind of money is not okay. A business losing that kind of money is not okay. Investors losing that kind of money is not okay. You have people that give a shit only about money and they don't care about people. It's shitty to say that, but that's who people are, and that's how people are. Like, and then you have something that you're like, well, just refund everybody's money. Is it that easy to do that too?
Well, I would say at the time, the WWE, I think, had just clawed itself out of a hole and had just clawed itself out of being behind the WCW. Like the WWE had been in a hole, and then they had just clawed themselves out and just got back to being the number one rated like wrestling whatever in the world. So I'm not.
We all can sit here and say, or we can all sit here and tell somebody else how they should move and how they should deal with situations, but at the end of the day, the only person that you're responsible for is yourself. You have to live with the decisions that you make. So if you
Monday Night Wars. Yep. Exactly.
So if you chose to, so in that event, if you chose to stay, you have to be okay with that decision. You have to live with that decision. And everybody else that moved that day, if Vince was my boss and he was like, you need to go out there, and I said no, and he tried to push me out and I turned around and walked back out, that's the choice that I'm making. I'm making that choice to lose my job. And I probably would have lost my job that day.
Yeah, if it was Vince, you would have lost your job.
I would have lost my job that day.
He even said, he's like, the show must go on, because Bret Hart called him out and was like, hey, what if it was your son that fell from up there? Would the show still have gone on? And Vince was like, hey, even if it was me that fell, the show still had to go on. So that's how Vince felt, no matter what. His businessman hat is always on. It's never off.
Yeah. But I would make that decision, and I would have to live with that decision, that I would lose my job, because I chose to not step foot in the ring. That's my choice.
Fair. Yeah. No.
And again, it goes back to this whole idea of like, I'm not going to tell somebody else how to grieve in situations like this. I'm not going to tell them what to do, and I'm not going to expect them to do the same thing that I would do. There are a lot of people in this world that like can grieve and move through things way differently than I can. Yeah, and I get that.
The other difference is that the fans didn't know. The fans thought that Owen was hurt and that they took him out to get help.
Right.
They didn't know.
Right.
The other thing that it showed that I thought was very, very interesting is it showed the broadcasters, because it was pay-per-view. Like, it was live TV. Yeah. So it showed the broadcasters having to deal and what they said afterwards when it happened. And I think it wasn't Mean Gene, who I forget.
Lawler.
Yeah, Lawler.
Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
And
I know. I can't think of the other guy's name, but it showed how the broadcasters had to deal with it and their faces and what
kudos to them.
Like, their faces were on screen. Talking Jim Ross, the King, and thank you, Vindicate.
Yep.
And it showed their faces and how they reacted and how they were feeling in that moment. It wasn't even just their voices; their faces were on screen. It was insane.
Yeah,
like you could see it. And these are dudes that night in and night out are just, the manly freaking men. The testosterone is flowing with these guys, and they just look like, I don't even know what I'm going to do right now. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to do this right now. And I was like, oh my God. Like, and then they talk about it they talk about it, in the documentary now, having so many years gone by, and it's incredible, dude. Like, there's like you can really, there's a parallel here and a way that I don't know. I don't know. I just think it might help in some way to see it. It sucks and it's sad. And
what do you mean that there's a parallel?
Just that the parallel to the games this year. You know what I mean? Like, not, again, like you said, everybody has a right to grieve however they want to grieve, and however you want to feel about it is how you want to feel about it, and however they handled it, however you feel about that is how you feel about that. But people have gone through this before. they were brothers. It's another set of brothers. It's another tragic, horrible freaking accident that happened that wasn't supposed to happen. Nobody wanted that to happen. Vince McMahon didn't want that to happen. You know what I mean? It wasn't. And granted, Vince McMahon's a dick. Like, I don't think that Vince McMahon is the greatest dude that ever lived, and he's, beyond reproach by any means when it comes to business and it comes to whatever. But that dude is also a genius, and he built something into a freaking Goliath that nobody. If people watched what happened during the Attitude Era, if they watched it now, they'd be pissed. Right? Nobody.
Oh, they would not be able to get rid or get away with the shit that they got away with during the Attitude Era.
No freaking way. In no way, shape, or form. And he moved through the eras the same way that rap music has now moved through the eras. And
90s rap was way better.
It's crazy to listen to rappers in the 90s and early 2000s and then try to
take me back to the 90s with that shit.
It just, so for me, when watching it, Vince McMahon, he lived it and he learned it, and he watched how the shift was happening. And I don't know, it was, you're right, Vindicate. It was a great documentary, and there's a lot of good things in there. Nation of Domination. Yeah. The Nation. Yeah. That was the Rocks. It was like,
he joined that crew. Yep.
So I guess Kenneth, you're right. Shows it for me. It just shows some of the possible perspectives that the game's athletes have, but also that another business, same type of thing. It's a sport where you don't know, dude. Every time, look at those guys. Look at what they do. They're jumping off of ladders. They're throwing ladders on each other. They're throwing each other on nails. They're on a cage, throwing each other off a cage. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you listen to many stories. I mean, The Undertaker dealt with a lot of back issues, and
JR.
They were waiting.
Jim Ross. Yep.
They were hoping. I think his wife was like, "Are we gonna stop this? We're gonna keep doing this? Like, what are we doing?" And then Shawn Michaels, same thing. I think he went out for a while, and
scaffolding matches.
Yep.
Yeah, there was no telling if you were gonna come out on that okay.
And these athletes would throw themselves.
Do it day in and day out. And it wasn't.
And they said, what did they work, like 365 a year?
It wasn't even 4 times a year. It was, they literally
all day, every day.
I think they had 3 weeks off the entire year.
Some of them I don't even think took them.
Right.
If you were in your prime, I don't think that
you had to be in the spotlight in order to be seen, in order to make money, in order to be the top guy, in order to.
Yeah, you had to be available.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not like social media. Like, you actually had to go
and be there.
You couldn't just post something on social media to keep yourself relevant as you can now.
It was crazy.
So, yeah, that was a good documentary.
So, yeah, you're right. 300 days. Yeah, Vindicate.
Yeah, it was crazy.
300 days a year. Usually they drove to all locations, or on some stupid, disgusting bus or something.
Yeah, and the drugs and everything. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's see if this works. Hold on. Let's see. What's up? What's up, lady?
Hey, how are you, girl?
What's going on? Good.
Did I miss the politics with the sister?
No, we're going to that next. I got kind of
okay.
I was doing the nostalgia wrestling thing and also just the parallels, but
okay.
No, we're gonna get into that.
I got in a little late, so that piqued my interest since I'm one of 5 sisters.
Yeah, we're gonna go. It's fun. She's we don't have the same way of thinking at all. We definitely don't agree on some things politically, but we're still capable of loving each other. So that's pretty much.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, lady. We love you. Thank you, Jody.
Just like you, I am chasing a puppy on a potty training schedule.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. They have to have a routine.
Yep. Never a dull moment. Every 15 minutes, I got a timer. So.
Oh, yep.
Anyway, I just wanted to call, say hi. Hope you had a great day, and I'm going to keep listening.
We appreciate
You
you.
too.
The sister part.
We love you.
So, all right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh,
It
cool.
worked.
Thanks, Judy. Phone worked. No popping. Awesome.
Yeah,
I think we
good.
figured out how to fix this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're gonna get into that, that's cool. So I had a conversation with my sister last night. It's funny because we call each other for Christmas, and somehow her and I, she's 2 years younger than me. And somehow her and I always, no matter what kind of fun conversations we have, we always end up in political conversations. And she's solidly liberal and solidly voted for Kamala. And, I used to be, and now I've kind of changed a little bit, but she is the most comfortable person for me to always run my train of thought off of, who doesn't agree with me. I can run my train. Pause. I can run my train of thought off of who, people that agree, but to talk to somebody that doesn't agree with me, she is awesome. And she also has a very good way of explaining how she feels about things. So last night we kind of got into it a little bit, and we got into, of course, critical race theory, right? Because I believe that we've always learned, history. We've learned about racism. We've learned about Jim Crow. We've learned about redlining, learned about the Holocaust, learned about, there was nothing, I don't feel like there was anything that I mean, I'm sure I probably learned extra stuff as I got older, but in high school, civics class, government, whatever, we learned a lot of that stuff. So I was like, wait, when did Black history not become part, when did that get taken out of schools? I feel like that's still in schools. And the way that it's been explained to her is that they're taking out anything that could make white people feel uncomfortable. And I was like, wait, what? Why are white people feeling uncomfortable?
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, well, just learning about, I was like, are they taking Jim Crow out of schools? Are they not teaching about, the Civil War and slavery and, Andrew Jackson and all that stuff? Are they not doing that anymore? And she's like, no, we just can't teach about how white people are uncomfortable. And I was like, well, I learned it and I wasn't uncomfortable. And I learned all this shit, but also being able to read all of the books. There were no book bans.
Mm-hmm.
So I read all of the, the crazy books with the words that you're not allowed to say anymore.
Right.
And whatever. And it was no big deal. It was almost just kind of like, okay, I'm not supposed to say that. That's not a good thing. That's how people lived back then. That's not us now. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, I don't know. It was kind of weird. We both agreed that it should be taught later. It shouldn't be taught to my second grader. It shouldn't be taught to my, fifth grader. But later on, the nuances should be taught, of course, sure. But I don't know. She's really stuck on critical race theory. I was like, my problem with critical race theory is that there's an LGBT agenda built into it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, people should just be taught to be good people.
Agreed.
Right. Just how about teach your kid just to be a good person?
We teach that. Aren't we supposed to teach the history so we don't repeat the history?
That's what I said. And that's what she said. But to me, what caught my attention was the language of don't make white people uncomfortable. White people don't want to be made uncomfortable. I was like, well, who told you that? Who told you that teaching history made white people uncomfortable? Where did that narrative come from?
Mm-hmm.
And there was no answer to that. And she was just kind of like, oh. And then I asked her, I was like, doesn't it make you feel kind of shitty when you see these weird liberal white people running around going, oh my God, I'm so sorry for everything my ancestors did, and let me pay you reparations? And doesn't that make you feel isn't there an ick in there when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's weird for me when it comes from like LGBT allies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't need this whole like weird ally thing. How about just, I don't know, don't
Be a good
bother
person.
me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's, you know what I mean? Don't throw your kid out on the street if they say that they're gay. Like, don't, what? I don't know. That weird ally, that am I racist thing where Matt Walsh goes around, there's all these white people just like, I'm so sorry. Sorry for shit you didn't do. Like, that's so weird. It's ick to me. Like, I don't get it. Like, do you even know what you're saying? Do you even know what, I don't even know what this whole ally shit is. And she was just like, yeah, that's weird. And I was like, oh, okay, we're having conversation now. Cool.
Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah.
is weird. And she's like, yeah, that's weird. She's like, I don't need all that. I was like, okay. But she's still stuck on the, hey, Black people have to explain to their kids things earlier than they should have to. That whole thing about how you have to explain about the cops early, or you have to do all this shit early. And I'm like, do you though? So we butted heads there, but
I mean, I think it also depends on the parent that you are. I've heard some parents talk to their very, very young children about sex from a place, because obviously there's predators out there, and understanding that, like, I think someone was saying they were talking to their 4th grader or younger about like consent and stuff like that, because she's nervous about the world because there's predators in the world. So I think that, I think it depends on the parent and what you feel like is right early. We talk very age appropriate together of like privacy and,
yeah,
like him getting himself dressed, him drying himself, taking a shower,
I just don't think I need to explain to him anything about the cops except for the fact that you need to be respectful if a cop
right
is in your vicinity.
Right.
That's it.
But the argument is that it's not the same for
Black people.
Right.
Yeah.
That it's different because there are still
there's
racially motivated cops. And I think that, and maybe this is naive of me to say, I think that when you're looking through the lens of everybody is against you, then you have to do your best to protect yourself from that. So maybe it's not just that one layer of just be respectful.
I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick. But
Of course.
is this hard for you to talk about right now because you're white?
Yeah.
Are you like choosing your words?
I have to.
You don't have to.
I have to. Of course I have to.
What?
Of course I have to. I have to choose my words on how I speak about certain things.
On this podcast?
Anywhere.
But
anywhere. I can't, I mean, we can take the school, for instance. I can't go up to the podium and ask a question about something race motivated, critical race theory, or anything like that, because what's the first thing they're going to call me? They're going to call me a fucking racist.
Oh, wait, Kenneth. Does she definitely has to watch her words in 2024? Is that what you're saying? Or we definitely have to, like, what is that what you're saying? She definitely has to watch her words in 2024? I think we have to stop doing that. I think that's the thing. They're gonna call you racist no matter what you say.
Yeah.
They're gonna call me racist no matter what I say. I have to watch my words sometimes too. Oh, God. I get that. I get that.
I mean, I think I can have a conversation with your sister and she'd allow me to ask some very difficult questions and it wouldn't be a thing. But, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
I mean, look, in the confines of our own family, of course, like we can talk very differently than we talk in public. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's your family. Like everybody knows in your family that you're not, or you are what you are. And the outside world isn't. I remember when we did the Piers Morgan Pierce piece, and I'll always say that is like, I got called all kinds of shit. And you know, I'm not black, I'm not whatever, and that's fine, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. But I think it's just the fact that I no longer give a fuck. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna say whatever I feel like. And if you want to think I'm racist for it, fine, go ahead. I know I'm not. Everybody around me knows I'm not. And I don't care. The LGBT calls me all kinds of shit too. I don't care. Call me whatever you want. I have a wife. I have a kid. I have it just, what is this? Colleen is white. Yeah. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, she is. Absolutely.
Very.
Jody Lynn, podcasters have to watch their words for sure. Any snippet can be used against you. Yeah, I get that too. Also, do we care though? Have we not learned already? Like, have we not been around this like sphere long enough to know that everybody's been clipped and it's been like, what does Sevon call it? Everybody's been ass pounded a bit. Like there's,
well, especially by him.
I mean, but by everybody, like everybody goes ham against everybody. Like Hooper tried to do it. I mean, he does it. I don't know if he cares what happened to him afterwards, but I'm sure he doesn't care. And he's just going to go ahead and do whatever he wants to do. Obviously, we've seen Craig Ritchie doesn't give a shit, and he's willing to step into the fire and catch it too. And he will throw it back a little bit, I guess. I don't know. But at this point, like, so what? Clip me. You're going to clip it. Like, it's fine. I don't know. At this point, if you don't start talking and you don't start having an opinion and you don't start speaking up for the shit that's bullshit, then I don't know what else to do. Yes, you care because little G is in the picture. What do you mean by that? Do I care if he sees me getting clipped, or do I like I'm proud of what I believe. If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't say it. I'm also okay with getting or having conversation and being corrected. I'm okay with saying that I made a mistake if I made a mistake, but I'm pretty solid in what I believe, and I normally think things out as much as I can before I say it. Sometimes I don't, and it comes out stupid. But
listen, I had my moment the other day. Last time we were on,
yeah, you get into you know, your feelings, and sometimes things happen. But
yeah, I think with every conversation that I have, I think in certain topics I get a little bit more confident to say how I feel and to how I say it. And, you know, I know that for some people that race is the way that they lead, and I don't. And I don't want it to be the only thing that leads conversations. I don't want it to be the only thing that leads my life, our kids' life. I want it to come from a place of just being kind to people and being respectful to people, but also having
no, I know what you're saying. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, and that's also shitty too. For kids to be mistreated for their parents' actions, you know. Yeah, I get that.
I do,
but
too.
Also too, if it's gotten to the point where people get in trouble and go after other people's kids and mistreat the kids for simply having conversations, then that really sucks. If that's where we are.
I've seen that too. I know a couple of people. I mean, obviously you guys know that Chase has kids and he got death threats. I know Woolie's in there too. I know I watched I think I've talked about it before, but I watched Schultz. Schultz, you can go to his page and actually see it on the picture of his daughter, his 8-month-old daughter. You know, and it's insane that could even happen, because like, how do you bring the kids and you know, people that aren't in the public, like our kids aren't in the public space, like we're free for all, I guess, but our kids aren't. So if that happens, like, yeah, that's weird. And I mean, that shows more about the people that are doing it though than it shows about us. I mean,
you know, again, I go back to saying, like, I can only do what I can do, and I can only be.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Rich
people will throw threats for whatever reasons that they feel is the right thing to do. You know what I mean? If they don't agree with something, they're going to throw threats.
I mean, we had a threat this year, if you want to, like, our deli did right after the right after the election.
Oh, this is
and this I go all the way into specifics, but
this is ridiculous.
This girl who we've known for a very, very long time. Actually, we know her whole family. It's not like she's a townie. Like, we know her. And I think that she got a little upset over the results of the elections. She called for food. I don't know. I think she said turkey and bacon, and somebody gave her turkey bacon. Like, it was an egg sandwich with turkey bacon. Instead of turkey and bacon, or some weird shit like that. And she lost her freaking mind and fought with my uncle, told him to come outside, told him to watch himself, told him that, I think I talked about this with Jeremy, and told my uncle to come outside, that her boyfriend would handle him, and to watch out because they burned the store down. And it's like,
over some food.
Over food?
Over some food.
Like, I'm sure there's a little extra sauce in there. I don't think it was just over the food. I mean, turkey bacon is an offense that calls for violence. Just get the bacon. Yeah, I hear you. But I mean, she was serious, and she was literally going nuts. And just threatened that, like, she's not allowed back into the deli or whatever. There's a whole like 6-month thing that happens, and then if Tom decides that he wants to let her back in, he can. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. But for me, it was like, you're gonna threaten to burn down the store, dude. People live up here. Like, I live up here. My wife lives up here. My kid lives up here. It's I don't know how you I don't know how you threaten like that or whatever, but
then kept going.
And like, literally and just kept going.
Social media, getting people behind her, tagging the store, and kept going. Yeah. So, I mean, it's,
and she knows us. It's nuts. She could have just said, hey, it was wrong, and we would have just fixed it. It's not like we haven't been wrong before.
Right.
We would just fix it and give you a new one. Like, no biggie. But no, it was this whole long, drawn out, I want to yell at you. I want to fight with you. Her boyfriend's here. I'm going to get this. I'll burn your store down while you're sleeping. Like, it's like, what? What?
Insanity.
For a sandwich order, yes, Kenneth, for a freaking sandwich order.
Yep.
But we also had that too during COVID too, where a dude wanted to fight my uncle over a roast beef sandwich and COVID.
Yeah.
And the mask mandates.
Yep.
And I was standing in between the two of them, and I was like, oh fuck, well, if this guy wants to go and Tom was in it, I was like, I guess we're going. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm in this fight.
Yep.
Like, here we go.
I mean, stuff like that, and also stuff that
Woolly Mammoth. I got a threat directed at my kids. 10% of the population is nuts. Yeah.
For stuff like that and anything that doesn't relate to the accusation that's being made is always so hard for me. And I think it loses the impact that people are trying to have, or it creates more chaos because the offense wasn't big enough. Like when you hear things like when Whoopi went after that bakery and she made a big deal and said it was because of her political views.
Yeah.
Do you think that somebody pays that much attention to your political views? And how hard is it to just go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Like I get the inconvenience. I get being pissed off. I get that this one's an asshole. And like, I get that when you're trying to just get some shit done and someone's like, I can't, or I won't, go back to the woman that chose to not make that cake for the gay couple. I would be upset about that. I would be mad about that, but I wouldn't go out of my way to try to ruin somebody else. That is also the beauty of this world, is that people can choose to do things based on their beliefs. You know what I mean?
That's fine. Go find a cake somewhere else. Like, fine.
Right.
Whatever.
I'm not saying use your beliefs to,
oppress other people.
Right. Or cause violence or anything like that. But, when you see things that have nothing to do with race and all of a sudden the race card is being
thrown out
there, or like, it's hard for me with that kind of stuff because again, if you're trying to prove a point, like I don't understand how it went from this to this when there was no information before.
It's either go back to what we were doing in 2020 and 2021 and not say that I don't think men should be in women's sports, or I don't think men should be in women's bathrooms, or I don't think, whatever the case is, like, I don't think everything I see is racist. I don't think everything I see is homophobic. I don't think everything I see is transphobic. To go back to that, where I don't say anything, as opposed to being here now and being able to say whatever I feel and talk about it and get an understanding from people.
Yeah.
I'd rather get called racist. I'd rather somebody say I'm going to burn the store down. Like, whatever. I don't want to go back to not being able to speak and do what I think is best for my child and do what I think is best for my family. Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
And Jody, I hear you. Like, I see what you're saying. I get it. And obviously everything is always to protect your children. You always want to protect your children, but also too,
in this world too, unfortunately, there are people that go after other people's kids and they don't even do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Chase is a perfect example. Like, he made a statement, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And people are making death threats to him and his family for making an opinion that was his own belief.
Yeah.
That in any other circle, it's like, if you don't like this circle and don't like this community, then leave. Then leave.
I think I've learned.
Don't tear down my village as you go, but just fucking go. And people want to go after him for that. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
But so, and I'll get there.
No, I get it.
I get there, and it was the same thing with the trans situation. Like, I wasn't ready to talk about certain things, and I got to the point where I was, and when it comes to race, it's
tough. It is tough. It's tough.
It's tough. Because I don't judge people based on the color of their skin, but
you'll be racist if you say that.
What?
That you don't judge people. Like, that's like saying you don't see color.
Oh, okay.
And you'll be racist if you say that. But then if you say I see color, then you're racist if you see color.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't fucking matter at this point. That's where I'm at. It just doesn't matter. They're gonna call you whatever. They're gonna the same way they see me as whatever they want to see me. They want to see me.
Oh, I believe that.
Like,
and that was part of my rant that I had the other day, where it's like, I can only do what I can do, and if it's still not going to be enough for people, like certain things that I say and certain ways that I move and whatever will still not be okay for people, and that's okay. That's okay. I can't spend my life trying to appease every single person. The only thing I can do is be respectful, be kind, stand up for myself, teach my kid.
Hey, as a parent, would you ever do this? I'm just saying. Would you ever do this? I found this. I was like, fuck no. Never, ever, ever. And it's all Legos. Nope.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. You're too loud. Nope.
Absolutely not.
And the square just keeps getting closer and closer together.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, kudos. But then here you go. Look. Nope. Oh. No. See, here we go.
Oh my God. Nope.
Absolutely not. No fucking way. Nope.
No, I would not. None of that.
I saw that. I was like, that hurts just seeing one piece in the middle of the living room floor that I step on, and I'm like, nah, fuck that.
I've seen another one where they play a game where they put cutout boxes all over and put something over the top. And in some of them they have Legos and other ones they don't. So they have to jump in, and if you pick the square without the Legos, you continue to go.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the woman had to jump, and she jumped in the box, and she jumped on like a bunch of eggs or something like that. I'm like, no, my
eggs are fine. Fucking Legos.
My fucking feet. No way. No fucking way.
And then for all the trainers that are in the room, how do you train for this sport? Does CrossFit, I'm just going to assume CrossFit works for this. But if you haven't seen this sport, wait, how do we get to Lego flips? Yeah, we're going to this shit too, because this apparently is a new combat sport that just dropped. Oh my God. What the? He grabbed that bro by his neck. Look. Oh. Yo, I'm watching that shit over slap fighting.
He kicked him in the face, and it sounded like he got some bitch slapped. Like, you heard that. Oh my God. I would watch that.
That's a pretty serious sport, right?
Yeah.
All core grip, like CrossFit, baby. You need CrossFit for this sport.
That's fucking crazy.
If you have to train with CrossFit to do a sport, then I feel like it's a real sport.
Oh my God, that's nuts.
I would watch that.
When the other guy grabbed him with his feet and just threw him down.
Tossed him off.
Crazy.
I'm watching that sport.
Fucking
I don't care. If that shows up on ESPN, I'm totally watching that.
Oh, we're watching it?
That was so fire.
That's crazy.
That dude kicked that dude in the face? That was amazing.
It sounded like a bitch slap.
Yeah, I can't even. That was so good.
That's insane.
Do you want to do more? Or do you want? Oh, this was weird. And this is why I say that we have to keep talking out loud, because if we don't talk out loud, this shit happens. I don't know how this person is still on Instagram, but here we go.
Trans women are more afraid of you in the bathroom than you are of us.
False.
Come here. Good. I'm glad you're afraid. You should be. You should be. Now get out.
Trans women are more afraid of you in the bathroom than you are of us.
Come here. Good. I'm glad you're afraid. You should be. Now get out.
I'm not mad at it. They're afraid of us. Women. Yeah. Ew. Exactly. Right. This is why we talk. This is why we have conversations. Because no, get out of the bathroom. Sorry. All right. Fun. I think we're having this should be entertaining. I think for like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, I haven't figured it out quite yet, but I think we're having Taylor on one day and Allie on another day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mind virus. That dude's weird. He's all over the internet. He's all over Instagram. I don't know how he's all over Instagram, but he is. And he'll make a video of me misgendering him, but that's fine. I'm not. It's all right. But yeah, I think we're gonna have that. I'm gonna try to get John Young on. We had a fun conversation. He sent me a video that now I have to go study to see what it is. But from what I could tell, I got questions. So yeah, Miss Shivers. Yeah. And yeah, so hopefully it'll be a really fun New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. If I can make it work correctly.
You will.
And then yeah.
She might do a solo show. She's gonna be home by herself for a couple days.
Oh yeah, my wife's leaving me. Yeah, she's leaving me. Clip it.
She might do she's gonna do a solo show.
I might, Kenneth.
And everybody's gonna feel like that
Jody
we broke up.
Just everybody jump on. I'll just send everybody links. Just everybody jump on the link. And
oh, did we tell you guys that? So she hasn't been to the boxing gym in a while. And one of the members actually came up to me and asked if we were divorced. And I was like, no. Why? Well, I don't see her anymore because she's working. Because she's working.
Oh yeah, Jody, I saw this. How about the Chief Nation box murder drama? Did you see that, babe?
No.
So Jethro called into the show. Was it this morning? Yeah, I think it was this morning. And apparently a brother and a mother live on top of the gym. Okay. And the other brother, who I guess is a little bit crazy and has been scaring people for a while, stabbed his mother to death on Christmas Eve, left. And then the other brother came home, found his mother dead. And so now Jethro's box is a crime scene. So it's closed.
What?
Yeah. Crazy. Fucking crazy.
They live upstairs? There's an upstairs?
There's an upstairs. And so there's a mother and a son that live upstairs.
Of the gym?
Yes.
Oh my God. No.
And so the other brother, who apparently is kind of crazy and all over the place and whatever, and has scared like some of Jethro's like staff before, he, I guess, killed his mother on Christmas Eve.
Oh my gosh.
And then, yeah. So crazy.
That's fucking nuts.
I felt so, but I mean, Jethro and his wife sound like they're taking it in stride. Jethro's like, well, just as soon as they tell me I can open it, I'm gonna open it. And
oh my God, that's fucking nuts.
Vindicate. I've seen a few boxes that are crime scenes. Do you mean body count by like the coaches, or you mean like Jethro? Like Jethro's gym right now.
Oh my God.
Us three having been there, we can visualize this scenario. Yeah, weird, right? Like that's
very crazy.
Oh yeah, it was Jethro and his wife. She's a freaking adorable. His wife is you're right. They're very cute. It is super adorable. But yeah, I felt bad. I was like, oh, I just picture yellow crime scene tape. It's
all over.
It's freaking Massapequa.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's true. Oh my God, that's crazy. No, I did not see that.
Yeah, he called into Sevon's this morning. So I haven't talked to Jet in a while. I have to catch up with Jet.
I know.
So
he's good people.
Yeah, that's it. My wife is taking off tomorrow. I'll be left unattended. So if you want to send me all kinds of weird memes and whatnot to keep me entertained,
she'll get herself in trouble.
I might Vindicate everybody. I'll just send everybody links. Somebody pop on with me if I get the nerve to go on by myself. Yeah, he is a great storyteller. Yeah, for sure. That dude's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
But yeah, you pop on with me. I might make an appearance by myself, or I'll chicken out and watch Home Alone 57 times and Cliffhanger and Die Hard again.
All the Christmas movies.
Yeah. So other than that, guys, thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys all had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a great New Year's. Hopefully we'll get to hang out with you on New Year's. And otherwise, I'm home alone. Send me love. Okay.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, edging. I just want to say edging. Hi, edging. The edging's over. I already edged. Is that a thing?
We finished.
I edged already. Yeah, I did the thing. See you guys. Love you. Thank you.